While everyone was busy chasing the next 100x meme coin or starting a Tesla stock chart, the real smart money was moving trillions of dollars in a market that most people find boring. Welcome to TradingBits X. This channel is all about decoding the economy from the ground up. No noise, just signal. Most people think bonds are just UFOs for retirees. They couldn't be more wrong. Bonds are the invisible gravity of the financial universe. They dictate how much you pay for your mortgage, whether a tech giant survives a recession, and even if a country collapses. If stocks are the hopes and dreams of the markets, bonds are the cold and hard reality. Today we're stripping away the jargon. We're explaining why the bonds markets is actually the boss of the stock market, how inflation eats your returns alive, and why understanding this boring asset is the only way to truly understand wealth. Before we dive in, do you currently own any bonds, or do you think they are just for your grandparents? Be honest, drop a bond or stock only in the comments right now. I'm curious to see the vibe of this audience. The anatomy of a loan. At its core, a bond is a glorified IOU, but in finance we like to make simple things sound complicated to change higher fees. When you buy a stock, you're a partner. When you buy a bond, you're a lender. You are the bank, essentially. There are three pillars to every bond that you must know if you don't want to get played. Number one, face value principle. The amount you lend, you give them $1,000, they promise to give you back that $1,000. The coupon. This is your rent. Since you're letting them use your money, they pay you interest. Maturity. That's the due date. This is when the borrower stops paying you rent and hands back your original $1,000. It sounds safe, right? But here in TradingBits X, we have the twist. The bond market is a secondary market. You just don't hold this maturity. People trade them like baseball cards, and that's where the madness begins. Who is borrowing your money? Not all borrowers are created equal. In the bond world, we split the rune in two: sovereign and corporate. Sovereign debt is when you lend to a government. Think a US Treasury, German bonds, or Japanese JGBs. Why is this the bedrock of finance? Because a government has a superpower, companies don't. They can tax 300 million people, or in a pinch, just print the money to pay your back. Corporate debt is different. When you're lending to Apple or maybe a struggling airlines, Apple's borrow cheaply because they have more cash than some countries. A zombie company has to pay you a massive interest rate because there's a real chance they go bust before your maturity date. If you have to lend $10,000 today for the next 10 years, will you trust the US government or a top 500 corporation? Type government or corporation below. Let's see who trusts the system more. The inverse seesaw. If you have to learn only one thing today, let it be this. Bond prices and interest rates are on a seesaw. When interest rates goes up, bond prices go down. When interest rates goes down, bond prices go up. Why? Imagine you hold a bond paying 3%. Suddenly, the Fed raises rates and new bonds are paying 5%. Why would anyone buy your 3% bond? They wouldn't. You have to drop your price so the new buyer's total return matches that 5% market rate. This is why 2022 was a bloodbath for safe investors. Rate spikes and bond prices crashing harder than they had in decades. The safest asset in the world lost people 20% of their wealth in a month. Inflation, the silent bond killer. Now let's talk about the villain in our story, inflation. If you want to know more about that, I have a video above in the link. Bonds are fixed income. The fixed part is the problem. Is a bond pay you $50 a year and the price of the X double, that $50 is suddenly worth half as much in terms. This is why bond investors are the most inflation paranoid people on Wall Street. They are the bonds vigilant. If they think inflation is coming, they sell bonds in middle, driving yields up and forcing the government to pay more to borrow. When you hear the news saying, oh, yields are surging, what they actually saying is the market thinks the value of our currency, it is in trouble. If this is start to click, do me a favor and hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that we actually like learning how the world works instead of just watching get rich quick schemes. And if you're new, please subscribe to TradingBits X. We're building a community of people who want to understand the why behind the wealth. The yield curves, market crystal. You might heard the term inverted yield curve. It sounds like a math nerd nightmare, but it's actually the closest thing we have to a crystal ball. Normally, lending money for 10 years should pay more than lending for 2 years. Why? Because the future is uncertain. You want a risk premium. But when the short-term rates are higher than long-term rates, the curve is inverted. The market is basically saying, I'm terrified over the next 12 months, but I think things will be slower and lower in the future. Historically, an inverted yield curve is the red alert for a recession. It has predicted almost every major downturn for the last 50 years. When the bonds market peak, the stock market eventually loses. Why this matter to your portfolio? So, why we did just spend 12 minutes on that? Because bond yields are the gravity of the stock market. When bonds yields are high, say 5% or 6% for risk-free government debt, why would an investor take a risk on a volatile tech stock? They wouldn't. They would just take the guaranteed 5%. High yields suck the liquidity out of the stocks. Low yields, like we saw in 2020, force everyone into the stock market and crypto because there is no alternative. If you want to know where the stock market is going, stop looking at the S&P 500 for a second. Look at the 10-year Treasury Yield. This is the North Star of global finance. So bonds are the price of borrowing. They represent the claim we have on future money. But what happens when we move away from paper contract into the physical world? If bonds are the price of time, our next topic is about the value of space. In the next video, we're driving into the real estate. We're moving from financial assets to real assets. We'll talk about why they aren't making any more land, how to use other people's money, leverage, to build an empire, and why location is just another word for demand. Before you go, what's your biggest takeaway from today? Was it the Seesaw, the yield curve, or just the fact that bonds aren't as boring as you thought? Comment below. I'll be jumping in to reply to the best insights. Share this video with one friend you think they are a pro trader but doesn't know what a coupon is. Don't forget to hit that like button, and remember, money, markets, we're trading the future. See you in the next one.